Welcome to Middlesex Moments, the radio program and podcast produced by faculty, staff, and students at Middlesex Community College. I'm Steve Minkler, the CEO of the college and your host for Middlesex Moments. Today I'm surrounded by faculty and staff and students in the Center for New Media volunteering their time to be crew today for production of Middlesex Moments' episode today. One of the things that we're most proud of here at Middlesex Community College are the partnerships that we have with many community agencies and businesses and schools in the area. And my guest today is one of our partners, Dan Osborne, who is the CEO of Gilead Community Services located here in Middletown. Thanks for joining me today, Dan.
Thanks. Thanks for having me.
And for our audience's sake, tell us a little bit about Gilead. What's the history of the organization and what are some of your primary focus areas?
Sure. So Gilead has been around for 50 years. We are a nonprofit, obviously, here in Middlesex County, and we provide a range of services for mental health and addiction treatment. So our services really span all the way from outpatient services, where you might come in to see us for psychiatry services or therapy services. We also have case management, which is we go out to see individuals in the community who might need support around their mental health needs. And one of the things that's really made Gilead stand out over the years is our intensive residential support. So we provide care to individuals who may need 24/7, round-the-clock services and supports in a home-like environment, often called group homes or residential treatment centers, and we do that throughout Middlesex County from Middletown down to Saybrook.
Okay. Now, how old is Gilead and how did you first get your start?
Yeah, so we've been around for 50 years, and we were started by Wesleyan University. 3 Wesleyan students back in 1968 had the big idea of creating a program that would help people who were coming out of the hospital. So back in 1968, which I wasn't around back then, but it was a long time ago, it was the time where folks were coming out of the hospitals at a rapid pace and really unprecedented. So folks who had been institutionalized because of their high level of psychiatric need were now being discharged because folks were recognizing that people with mental health needs do not need to be locked up in an institutional setting in most cases, and that they should have an opportunity to live independently in the community. The challenge was the community wasn't really prepared for folks coming out. There weren't the services in the community that there are today. So it was really the pioneers like the 3 students at Wesleyan that were coming up with ideas. In that case, it was get the college to donate a house, which we still have today on High Street in Middletown. And that house was then occupied by 5 college students, and 5 recently discharged individuals coming out of Connecticut Valley Hospital. And there really were no clinical services back then provided in this program. It was just 5 students and 5 individuals working on their recovery, living life together. And since then, we've obviously grown to add programs and services and clinical offerings for individuals to help in the recovery journey. And we're now about 18 different program sites throughout Middlesex County, and we just acquired an addiction treatment program in New Britain, Connecticut. So we now say we're Middlesex County and New Britain.
Okay, all right. Well, it sounds like it was an idea almost ahead of its time back in 1968, and for people to think that mental health and addiction should be something that's not stigmatized as much as it had been in the past. So we have to take a quick break, Dan, and when we come back, we'll learn more about Gilead Community Services and the partnership that we have together with Middlesex Community College. You're watching Middlesex Moments from Middlesex Community College.
At Middlesex Community College, we think your Plan A should be a high-impact, low-cost college education, preferably with no student loans required. get started on your Plan A.
Step into your future at Middlesex Community College.
Welcome back to Middlesex Moments, coming to you from Middlesex Community College. I'm Steve Minkler, and I'm joined in studio with my guest, Dan Osborne, who is the CEO of Gilead Community Services, located here in Middletown, but as we talked about before the break, covering Middlesex County and New Britain and other parts of the state. So we were talking before about the wide range of services that you have to assist clients who may have had mental health issues or addiction issues, and how that really got destigmatized maybe about 50 years ago from the beginnings of Gilead. So what kind of role does Gilead play in partnership with other agencies in the Middlesex County area?
Yeah, so one of the things that we've learned, and I think many people know at this point, is you don't recover from anything in isolation, right? I mean, even if we're talking about a medical issue, let's say you break your arm, hope that doesn't happen to you, Steve, but you know, you're going to have people come around you and support you, right? You might have people assist you in different ways, and recovery from a mental health condition is exactly the same. We don't do that well in isolation, and so it really is about the community and engaging the community, both as an organization. I think it's very healthy for us to be out involved. We want to be giving back to the community, obviously partnering with the college here and partnering with many institutions throughout Middlesex County, the hospital and other healthcare systems. You know, we're very much involved and integrated with those. But it's really at the end of the day about the care that we provide to the clients that we serve, and making sure that individuals that come to Gilead have opportunities to be integrated fully into the community. So that might mean we're getting involved in civic organizations or vocational opportunities, making sure if clients have interest in being part of faith communities or different recreational things that they're interested in. Not that we would do those things for the people that we serve, but figuring out how to help navigate those different areas and helping people make the connections with community. Because ultimately, again, that's how we recover. We need support from each other, and so we're proud to be a community partner. And frankly, Middlesex County is a pretty amazing community, so we're lucky to be in a place where people want to wrap around and support the work that we do. We would not be here today as an organization 50 years strong without the amazing community and the support of hundreds and thousands of people over the years for the work that we do at Gilead.
Yeah, and we definitely feel that here at the college as well. And you know, I think we're recording this show about mid-semester, and this is the point in time where we really start to see how stressful college can be for many of our students, and seeing sort of an increase in students' ability and awareness about their own issues and trying to deal with that, and realizing that they're not in isolation either as an individual, and that the college can help them to the extent that we have services. But you know, where we fall a little short, that's why we rely on folks like Gilead to be partners with. And that came out loud and clear in an event we have here at the college called Fresh Check Day, which is where we show students some of the services that are available here on campus, but also in the community. And you guys participated in that day with us.
We did. Yeah, which was great. And you know, we love those opportunities, and we really appreciate that the college does that here at Middlesex Community College, that there's opportunities to not just explain to students what programs are available on campus, but again, it's that community right outside the campus doors that has a lot of different services that can be provided. So we're thrilled to be a part of that.
So do you have any events or activities that really put Gilead out there in the front of the community, just to make sure that everyone is aware of what you do and where you're located and the kinds of services you provide?
We do. So there's a bunch of community events that we're a part of. So I'll share a couple of those with you. So one thing that we do that we're really proud of, which I would never suggest is a Gilead only initiative. All these things are collaborations, but we, about 5 or 6 years ago, with several other community partners, including the community college, started something called Compassion Counts. And Compassion Counts is an educational series, essentially, in which Usually it's panel-led discussions, so folks who have lived experience or maybe have professional expertise will be part of a panel sharing information about mental health disorders, addiction disorders, a variety of different topics. That the purpose of these events is to get information out, real information, about the things that people are talking about anyway. People are talking about mental health. They're talking about their belief or understanding of how mental health might impact some of the scary things that we see in the news, which frankly are typically not connected to mental health, but they're having these conversations, so we want to be able to be a part of informing those. So we get somewhere between 150 and 250 people at these events that are learning from people who've been through these experiences themselves about what it really means to have schizophrenia, or what it really means to experience an addiction disorder, or a variety of other situations that someone might be experiencing in their life.
And we have one of those conversations coming up in the next few weeks, right?
We do. So on December 3rd, we're going to be doing that here at the community college, and would love to have people out. This one is going to be a little bit different. It's going to focus on what we're talking about as integrative medicine, and different ways that folks can engage wellness activities and behaviors into their own personal self-care and recovery from whatever it is that they might be experiencing or recovering from.
And some of that wellness, I would imagine, includes sort of mental health wellness as well as physical wellness, spiritual wellness, and all sorts of things that get attached to that, so you can feel like you're more of a centered person in your daily life.
Absolutely. It's really encouraging a variety of different strategies. We'll have some to talk about and to present, but we certainly don't have every single remedy out there. I think it's encouraging people to think about what helps you deal with maybe anxiety or depression or some of the challenges you might experience, or just to help re-energize or refresh you from a challenging period of life, or maybe a tough day at the office.
Sure. Yeah, it may not be all the answers, but at least it starts conversations, as the name implies, right?
Absolutely, and it gives people options. We're no longer in the day of I have a mental health or a personal challenge, and so I'm going to go see a therapist and get on a medicine, and that's it. Those tools are there, and they're great, and obviously Gilead provides that, so I support those types of approaches. But there's so many more things that we can do, and it all does seem come back to this concept of community and how we support each other and help each other find what solutions are helpful. So we hope that this event can be one part of that. We're also really excited about some new service lines that we're making available to the community. So in the next few months, we're going to be increasing sort of our marketing around a few different new services. One is something called service navigation. So Gilead wants to be in a position to actually help people who know that they need services but don't know where to begin. So service navigation will be an assistive service where we come alongside someone and help them identify what types of resources or supports, maybe integrative medicine, maybe some traditional treatment would be the best fit for them based on their needs. We also have free services for individuals who have been victimized by a crime. That's through VOCA services. And then thirdly, we have services for veterans that are also free. So we're really excited about those three pieces of service, and we're putting that out there as much as we can to let people know that it's there, and we'd love to provide those services.
Well, with that range of services and trying to appeal to definitely distinctive sections of different types of clients, I would imagine the kind of staffing that you need must be very varied as well. So what kind of background does a person need to work at a place like Gilead?
So we have tremendous staff. I'm glad you asked that. We would not be Gilead without the staff that we have. So we have about 250 amazing, talented staff, and the skill set ranges. So a lot of our staff are what we call case managers. So they'd be a bachelor's prepared in a healthcare field, a staff member who comes alongside clients in a variety of different environments. Could be residential, could be in the community. But then we also have staff who have professional training and licensure, like therapists and psychiatrists, MDs, as well as APRNs who can do prescribing work in our outpatient clinic. So we have licensed clinical social workers, licensed marriage and family therapists, licensed professional counselors. So really the whole range of professional services when it comes to mental health treatment.
Okay, and where it's appropriate, do you ever have volunteers or interns come in from colleges or from the public?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We have a great volunteer workforce, and again, it's that sense of Middlesex community just finds a way to latch on and support us really in everything that we do. So whether it's writing thank you notes for a fundraiser like we recently had, where we have some of our program participants or family members writing those, or whether it's being part of planning a new event or planning a new program, or even strategically planning for the organization, we integrate volunteers and community members in all those different activities.
Yeah, so let's talk for a minute about the strategic planning process. As a nonprofit, you have a board of directors and people from the community who help give you some guidance and feedback. And what does the strategic planning process look like at Gilead?
So I know strategic planning can be a little bit of a boring topic for some,
yeah.
So we'll try to keep it interesting for your viewers. But we understand that, especially in a time when funding is decreasing, it's more challenging to remain competitive as a business, that we have to know where we're going if we really have any chance of getting there. Otherwise, we're just going to be kind of wandering aimlessly. So we, every 3 years, we spend significant time. By significant time, I mean up to 3 to 6 months, working with a committee that includes all of our stakeholders, so community members, volunteers, family members, clients that we serve, staff at all levels of the organization, and we spend some time thinking about what are the major issues that we need to be focused on. So I'll give you an example. One of the issues that we are keenly focused on right now is access. We contract with the state of Connecticut, so a lot of our services are state funded, and therefore they're made available to people who qualify for state services. That's wonderful, and that's a huge part of our care that will never go away. But we want to also increase access so that folks who maybe aren't eligible for state services can also see Gilead as a partner that they can come and receive treatment and supports from. So that's where the Veterans Program and the Victim Services Program and the Resource Center are really aimed at providing that kind of resource and connection for people who maybe or maybe don't qualify for the other state services that Gilead offers.
Okay, great. Well, it's time for another quick break
All right.
here. And when we come back, we'll learn more about Gilead Community Services and the connection with Middlesex Community College. You're watching Middlesex Moments from Middlesex Community College.
Every education is a good education, and you can't take any of that for granted. What I learned about community colleges is that the community part is just as important as the college part. And while I went to community college in an attempt to lift myself up, what I found was that I was surrounded by people and we were lifting each other up.
There's still time to register for fall semester. Middlesex Community College offers late start classes that begin throughout the semester and are affordable and high quality. Conveniently located in the cities of Middletown, Meriden, and online, your path is straightforward and easy. Middlesex Community College, your future. Visit mxcc.edu/late start and enroll today.
Back to Middlesex Moments from Middlesex Community College. I'm Steve Minkler, and I'm here together with my guest, Dan Osborne, who's the CEO of Gilead Community Services, headquartered in Middletown, but serving Middlesex County and New Britain and parts beyond. Right. In the program, we've been talking about how agencies like Gilead Community Services, Middlesex Community College, and others really kind of stand out as partners in providing a variety of services, educational, mental health, addiction services to residents of our area. And I want to focus on a couple of things to create greater awareness of this and some of the things that we have done together or at least collaborated on. One is a fundraiser that you had recently. Gilead's a nonprofit, so you rely on some state funding but also some fundraising. So tell us about the major fundraiser that you just had.
Yeah, so about a week and a half ago, we just finished our fundraiser called Cuisine for a Cause, and it's cuisine with a Q, because we have a trivia contest at the end. That's pretty fun, but basically it's about 20 to 25 dinners that happen throughout Middlesex County with very generous hosts that pay for the dinners and take care of their guests. So that's happening all throughout the county, and then we meet up at Wesleyan at a spot there to have great desserts and great company, hear a little bit about Gilead, and have a live auction. So it's just a tremendously successful event that brings in over $100,000 in one evening. Again, because of the generous and really wonderful support of the community that cares so deeply for Gilead and for the work that we do. And Middlesex is obviously Middlesex Community College is a big part of that night, in sponsoring and supporting the evening. Many people from the college are there to support us, so we appreciate that very, very much.
Right. We've raised a lot of money, but it's also friend raising at the same time,
Absolutely.
Right? So we know we're all in that cause together.
Absolutely.
Another thing that we do partner with between ourselves and other agencies in the area is legislative action. We participate in a legislative breakfast together in the spring.
Yep.
So talk a little bit about the advocacy that you as CEO have to provide for Gilead when it comes to getting state support for the services that you provide.
Yeah, it's a really important part of what we do. As I mentioned before, it is a challenging time with funding, challenges and other issues. So making sure that our voice is heard in Hartford and frankly in Washington D.C. as well, for the variety of federal but local issues that affect the work that we do. In some cases, it is funding. It's as simple as that. In other cases, it's bills or legislation that has the potential to really help organizations like Gilead and Middlesex Community College that are striving to help the community, or could really hurt if we don't advocate for our needs. So one of the things that I've found to be probably most rewarding in the advocacy process is, again, this isn't something we do alone. I don't go up to the Capitol by myself, or when I do, it's really not that effective. It's when we go together, or folks from Middlesex and Gilead, or the participants of Gilead, are up there together in force, saying we care deeply about this issue, whatever that issue is. So we go up in force. We usually wear same-colored T-shirts with our message across the chest, and really make the point that we need to be a major factor in our legislators' decisions about health care and a variety of other issues.
And I think by doing that together, we show strength in community, and it shows that we appreciate what each other does and with our respective agencies, with the communities that we serve. So it's not like we're competing with each other for the same pool of dollars, too. So it's the community being strong.
Absolutely. And it's, I think, as we talked about before, there are so many amazing collaborative agencies in Middlesex County that we are stronger together. When we go up together, we make a point on an issue together. I think it resonates more with legislators than when it's maybe just one agency or one person. May not have as big of an impact.
Right. So when you're not doing your CEO role for Gilead, what do you do on your off time? What do you do for fun?
Off time?
Yeah, which is probably never, right?
Yeah. So I have a wonderful family, and kids that keep me. Keep me in line and certainly enjoy the outdoors, kayaking, doing some fishing in different parts of Connecticut, and just trying to enjoy the outdoors. So those are some of the things that I like to do.
I mean, it's a beautiful place of the state to live
Absolutely.
and to work. Absolutely. So if somebody wanted to be more involved in Gilead, whether it's to donate funds or volunteer or perhaps even needing services, how do they get in touch with Gilead?
Yeah, so obviously we have a website, and our website is gileadcs.org, so someone could go on our website. There's a great overview of the work that we do and the services that are available. Our main offices are located at 222 Main Street Extension, so you can come there and find out how to plug in. Our resource center is not quite open yet, or I'd love to give the address, and we will do that in the very near future, and it'll be on our website, because that really is the place that we hope to have people come directly and be able to get connected. But there's also a lot of events that we do that we would love to have people people involved in. Cuisine just happened, so that one will come around again in about a year. But we also have a road race that we call the Run for Everyone road race that takes place in the spring. And it's actually a great collaboration with the college and other community organizations that work with Gilead to be involved in a road race in the spring. The Hartford Marathon Foundation has been a tremendous partner. This is their road race, so it's their Middletown road race. It happens whether Gilead is a part of it or not, but we have brought up to 400 runners and walkers and supporters to the event, wearing proud their Gilead shirts and running. When we say Run for Everyone, it's a reference to, we know that 1 in 5 individuals in the United States experiences a mental health condition. It's probably actually a little bit more than that. And so we're all running for every one of those 1 in 5 that we know, that we care about. And we try to share those stories and connect with people, but we would love to get that number from 400 up to 600. And so we welcome everyone and anyone who likes to run or walk or maybe has a health and wellness goal that they want to work toward to join us this spring. And we'll be getting that date out as soon as we know it.
Okay, great. Now, I know that some people who may need services from an organization like Gilead, I think some of it is maybe a little bit of embarrassment about coming forward or being afraid of being stigmatized. And any words of wisdom you might have for somebody who might be watching or listening who does need the kinds of services that Gilead provides, what advice would you give them about taking that first step?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think one of the things we talk about a lot is parity between how we fund, but also how we think about mental health as it compares to physical health and wellness. And I think with all health conditions, people may have some apprehension, but generally speaking, I think there's more so concern because of the stigma related to mental health. So what I would say is, just like you would take care of your broken arm, you wouldn't let it hang there in pain, or a medical condition that you're noticing, it's just as significant and important that you take care of your mental health and your mental wellness. And I would say we need to talk more. The community conversations that we're doing, that's intended to get these conversations, because the things that people are worried about or afraid of, it's just not real anymore. I think as a society, we're getting better at understanding that mental health is part of our overall wellness, and it is a very sad fact that it can take up to 10 years on average for someone to seek mental health treatment. 10 years after the onset of symptoms associated with mental health issue, unfortunately, your mental health has probably deteriorated to a point that is going to be more difficult to treat than had we gotten it early. So again, it's like any other physical condition. We encourage people to open up, to talk to somebody they trust, to talk to a primary care physician about what's going on, and to take care of themselves. And maybe we just need to trust a little bit that our society is getting a little wiser, and that we are more capable of supporting each other through these issues.
Sure. And I think it takes places like colleges, employers, businesses, and all to be open to that, and especially at a college, like we talked about earlier, some of the stresses that our students are under. I was really touched the other day when a student came forward to bring an issue to my attention, and the student said that they felt comfortable knowing that this was important to the college, that we are open to this and can listen, and even if we can't provide all the help that the student needed here on campus, that we do have connections for them. And so I really felt really touched by the fact that they were aware of this. Yeah.
Well, congratulations to you and the college for being able to promote that sort of understanding, sensitivity, and compassion to folks, that they would feel that way. I think, just like you said, more employers, institutions need to foster those kinds of attitudes and a sense of support instead of a sense of judgment when it comes to mental health. We all experience mental health needs on some range, right? Mm-hmm. We all maybe have moments of, or times in our life where we experience some stronger episodes of sadness, maybe into depression or high levels of anxiety, we all struggle with these things. So it's not hard to imagine, how some may struggle more and need that support. And we all know someone who's been touched by a significant mental health need. So I think it's time that we stop pretending like this is something that only happens to people who are out there and we can't really relate to. This happens to all of us. This is a reality that we need to support each other through.
Sure. And that's a great way to kind of wrap up our discussion. So one more time for our audience, best way to contact Gilead or learn more is on the website?
Yeah, on our website, gileadcs.org. We'd love to have you check us out. We're also on Facebook and would love to have people interact with us there, but they can also stop by at 222 Main Street Extension in Middletown.
Okay. And they're looking for Dan Osborne, the CEO of Gilead Community Services.
That's right. I'm going to get a lot of visitors this week.
Well, Dan, I really want to thank you for stopping by the college today to join me on Middlesex Moments for today's show. So it's always a pleasure to see you and to partner with you in any way that we can here at the college.
I feel the same way, and thank you so much for having me.
Thanks. And I want to thank you for watching or listening to Middlesex Moments for today's show. As always, you're invited to visit us here at our main campus at 100 Training Hill Road here in Middletown, or at our Meriden Center, 220 Coe Avenue, where we offer classes 4 nights a week, and certainly online 24/7 at mxcc.edu. And we have links to all of our community partners, including places like Gilead. So again, thank you for tuning in to Middlesex Moments. I'm Steve Minkler, and we hope to see you again soon.